All right, welcome back to another episode of the Pin High Podcast presented by Pin High Media. The Jailbird putters are going to be a big discussion this week. I feel like we got to find out who's switching over to those. As Keegan Bradley made it two in a row for Odyssey at the Travelers, just absolutely ran away with it. Um, and we're going to talk Rocket Mortgage, which is always, you know, a little bit less than something. So let's get into it.
This is Jordan Spieth here, and
This is the Pin High Podcast.
Okay, let's get inside the ropes to start the week. Biggest news in golf, biggest story is these Jailbird putters. Um, I
Making a
don't.
comeback.
They look kind of gross, but at the end of the day, I don't see why, if you're somebody who struggles with putting, who we kind of use them as a punching bag, but like a Luke List or Tony Finau right now, what stops you from being like, yeah, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, I really do not know. Now, so this all started with Ricky Fowler, right? Ricky Fowler switched to this Jailbird putter earlier in the year, had that interesting grip on it. Worked pretty well from him. He's been putting really well this year. Wyndham Clark got wind of that in a practice round with Ricky, and he got the club with the same exact specs, and he won the U.S. Open. And then Keegan Bradley was like, you know what? Might as well try it out. Goes out to the Travelers and wins the Travelers. So, yeah, we have a lot of Jailbird putters coming into play here on the PGA Tour, and yeah, I really do not know what's so great about it compared to the normal putters.
Now, did he switch to it just this week, or has he been using it recently? Do you know?
I think he might have switched to it just this week.
It's interesting because not historically like the best putter, but this week obviously 1.77 strokes game putting, and at the Memorial 1.46. It's just interesting that like he's usually an approach guy, and this week he was, but he's been kind of like getting by with the putter recently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading an article right now. Ricky kind of just like discovered this putter and it was working well for him. Now Keegan Bradley's been using a similar shaped putter, I think, most of the year. He is an Odyssey guy. I think he's been using an Odyssey putter. And I guess the Jailbird did so well last week. He just switched to it this week, and it's not much of a difference to what he usually uses. But I don't know. Maybe it is because he got a win this week.
Yeah, and it was a little disappointing that he like yeah, he only won by 3 strokes, but he kind of just like had it on lock from a certain point on Saturday on, and it sucks because this is a great tournament. No matter how low the scores were, like Rory was talking about it, whatever. It's like it's a short course, but it on TV, it's a very fun course to watch. Like, yeah, guys go low, but I don't think that's always a bad thing. Like shootouts are, we like we talk
Yeah,
about how they're not fun, but like it's a fun shootout.
the closing stretch at this course is pretty good. I think it is a bit of a pitch and putt. Whoever pitches and puts the best usually wins this tournament. Uh, there's not really a much like you have a like off the tee doesn't really matter as long as you're in the fairway because you have a wide range of guys who always play well at these tournaments. The longer
But
hitters, the
on
shorter hitters.
that that back nine, if you're a guy who hits it far, who just like hits a bunch of fairways one day, like you're gonna go like 5, 6 under on the back.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's usually how it plays out, and that's why it's an interesting tournament because you always come down to the stretch, or well, usually come down to the stretch with like 4 or 5 guys that have a chance. Now Keegan Bradley kind of ran away with this one. He was just kind of on a tear, and he didn't need to go super low on Sunday. I think he was 2 under on Sunday. Probably could have gone away with even par and still won the tournament. So, uh, there's that. But you have guys like what's his name? Zach Blair, I think is his name. He
Mhm.
went 8 under in the final round, which is crazy. And I think he made more money this week than he has in his entire PGA Tour career combined.
I don't think his
Uh,
entire, but
what?
like in the past, I feel like he used to be all right, right?
I don't know, but Brian Harmon is a guy that's always around at this golf course for some reason. He's just a course horse. Always plays well here. Something about the Travelers kind of fits well the lefties. Don't know why, but I guess it just fits the
Yeah.
eye. I mean, Scotty Scheffler of another top five guy is ridiculous. Ches Reavie also plays well around this course. So you had some of
Talking
the
about
usual
guys,
suspects.
talking about guys that should switch to the Jailbird putter. Scotty, jeez.
What was his strokes game putting this week?
I mean, I could be wrong, and he could have gained stroke putting this week. He gained a point 0.18 this week, but he gained
So basically even.
1.68
Yeah.
approach, which is virtually what Keegan gained, and 0.82 off the tee, 0.55 around the green, 3.23 total. Like, this guy's data golf is crazy. T4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 5, 11, 10, 4, win, 4,
Yeah,
12, win. It's crazy.
it
Crazy
is
to
kind of
look at.
crazy. Yeah, his data
He's a
golf is
lock to finish in
fascinating,
the top 5.
and he doesn't even putt well most weeks, which is crazy. We saw
No,
we saw a little
he's
bit of
the
everything this week. I
last
feel
2
like,
strokes putting,
yeah,
and a
that is
stroke
kind of
at the
crazy.
most well.
And then you had Denny McCarthy go shoot a 60 on day one. Speaking of good
Yeah, I mean,
putters,
that score was out there. Um, I mean, Ricky did it on Saturday. It's yeah, but the score was out there all week.
yeah, it is an interesting tournament. We like this tournament. Maybe we're a little biased just because it is in our home state, but yeah, I mean, it usually shows out. I'm not sure if this is an elevated event spot the next couple years. It was fun to see the top players play at this tournament, but this kind of feels like a random guy wins a tournament here. It's just kind of how it's been, you know.
I don't know if it needs the elevated field for it
I
to
don't know.
still be a good tournament because like it's not like it produced a leaderboard that was really all that much of like a elevated. Like you had Zach Blair coming second, so I don't know if it needs to be elevated in the future. Like the fans still come out. I think the PGA Tour looks at that and it's like maybe we give it to something else because I know Pebble, for instance, is getting it next year, which will be interesting because it's like not
It's
your
like a pro am.
your major. It's not your major championship, Pebble. No, but I think next year the pro am is going to be Thursday, Friday.
That's good. That's a little bit better. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, going back to the Jailbird. So Keegan Bradley did bring it out in 2021. He started using it, and then it's been in and out of the bag. But yeah, the Jailbird Odyssey is bringing out 380 limited edition Jailbirds. They're capitalizing on the fact that they've won 2 in a row, and they're going to sell a bunch of these clubs now. I mean, they've been
as they
going on
should.
eBay for like thousands, which we mentioned last week.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
Wyndham Clark
personally.
or Ricky Fowler has that like lead tape on the bottom of his, which always looks interesting. Like the whole bottom of
Yeah,
the face of the club just has lead tape all over it.
yeah, I'm not. I don't love the shape of the putter. I mean, I kind of like a mallet more than a blade, but gee, maybe you switch to a jailbird.
Maybe.
You're
Not sure
using
it would help.
Scotty.
Not
Scotty's
sure it would
using
help me.
Scotty. You don't know. You never know. Jake, I think you need like a massive like fang, like your dad, with
I
like
don't like
a.
the big grips. Feel weird to me.
You don't need the big grip for it.
No. Apparently, like the Jailbird, like because it has a black and white colorway, it helps you align better, which is interesting. That's something I've never thought of. I guess it gets you on the correct path, so
I
maybe
for
there's
sure
something
like
there.
having a sight line. Having a sight line's nice.
Yeah, and a lot of
I
guys are
have it
using
on
it,
mine.
so
You have a sight line?
yeah, I have like a little line on my top of my putter.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah,
Whenever I stand over your putter, it feels like the blade is just like it's weird. It just feels like really long.
sometimes. I don't know. I guess when you have like a mallet and then you go to the standard putter, it's different. I'm sure I feel the same going the other way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My dad uses like a ping that's like
Yeah, like a
a
ping answer.
old blade, and I just yeah, I feel like I would need to hit it so much harder. Speaking of which, this is completely kind of off the rails, but the greens this weekend at Silvermine, where it was like putting on fairway.
Really?
It
That slow?
on the second green, I was marking my ball, and I looked at it, and I was like, I like felt the grass. I was like, this is fringe. Like this is, it was crazy. Like all day, putts were coming up short. It was crazy. Anyway, sorry. Back to the PGA Tour talk.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end of the episode, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean that's kind of all I got on the Travelers. It's an interesting tournament, quirky course. Doesn't need to be elevated again, in my opinion, especially coming off of a U.S.
I
Open.
agree. I agree. What is a course that you would like to be elevated instead? RBC. Maybe.
Mm, maybe the RBC. There's like you get to this point of the year and there's a lot of weird tournaments. I feel like you need to do a little reshuffling because you do the RBC, it's the Memorial, which would be elevated. Usually is out like should be elevated basically every year. Then the Canadian Open, then the U.S. Open 3 weeks in a row. So there's no like real off week. But then like you have the Rocket Mortgage and the John Deere, which are not the best tournaments, and the Barbasol with the Scottish
Yeah. Well,
Open.
Bob's
So
also not off.
yeah, that's an off week. But yeah, I don't know. You'd have to do a little juggling, I think, to figure out what would be elevated around this time period. Like, yes,
Right.
you have the Scottish Open, but there's not a lot of tournaments that are great at this time of year.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Maybe more in the. I mean, it seemed like there was always one in the winter. So I mean, Pebble adding to that's gonna be crazy
Yeah, it's going to be a hot start next year with the elevated events.
for sure. But let's talk about Rocket Mortgage a little bit here. So I said in the intro, I was like, it comes up a little bit short of of something, but it's also I feel like this week we're gonna get one of two things. We're gonna get a big name like Tony Finau last year, who just like is kind of due, and they're just gonna put it together because it's a Bombers course where you just you know hit the hell out of the ball and putt it. And yeah, so we're gonna get that, like maybe like a Sung Jae. Or we're gonna get like a guy who bombs it, who just makes sense, who like who does well at these courses like Mexico Open and like the
Right.
3M, like a Joseph Bramlett.
Sure. Yeah, it could
You're gonna
go
look
one
at
of
them
two
and you're gonna be
ways.
like, yeah, that makes sense.
Or you're going to get a guy that puts the Jailbird in the bag this week and puts lights out.
Well, that's always possible, but I don't know. I wish I had that knowledge about Keegan beforehand.
Yeah. I don't know who else uses it, but yeah, I agree. I mean, you had Tony Finau win it last year. You do have some names in the tournament this year. You got Finau, Morikawa, Ricky's playing, Hideki, JT, Max Homa. Those are
Mhm.
kind of your big names. And then you have some other guys like our boy Ludwig is now that he's
See,
full time here, he's playing.
this week or next week at the 3M Open, I could see Ludwig. It was a coming out party for Matt Wolf.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the
Could
playoff.
could be something to think about.
And then you have Austin Eckler's been playing great golf. I see his name popping up a lot.
He's everywhere.
Around here.
Yeah,
He is all over the place, almost too mainstream at this point. Uh,
great.
and then you have Cam Davis, a former winner here. So you got guys,
Yeah,
and yeah, like the field is not as bad as you'd let on to be. Gordon Sargent's playing this week as well. You mentioned him yesterday to me.
could be same thing as Ludwig for him.
Yeah, it's a yeah. I think more times than not, I feel like a big name's gonna win this. I don't know why. You've seen Bryson win it. You've seen Tony Finau win it. I don't know. For
Cam
some reason, I
Davis
feel
is
like
not a small name, so like, yeah, you're gonna have somebody who probably is like, in my opinion, I think it's just gonna be somebody that's like kind of due.
yeah, maybe like somebody like a Hideki or a Sanjay. Um,
I really like Sung Jae. I mean, obviously Ricky's due, but it almost seems like too obvious because he's like a Rocket Mortgage guy. Like it just
I mean, yeah, I could fully see Ricky winning this week.
obviously,
He's not short either. Like he's all of a sudden he's a bomber,
yeah.
which is kind of out of nowhere. Uh, yeah, I'm like wondering who's up here with the bombers that just might be playing this week.
I mean, Cameron Champ, he miraculously will play well at like certain events and just get absolutely ejected at other ones. But this
when's
one, the
when's the last
3M,
time Cam Champs played well? I have to know.
the Mexico Open, which is just a bomber's paradise. Like literally, it was just bombing and putt it,
Sheesh. His
and he did it.
his previous results are not looking great. What happened to him? Dang. He basically loses strokes in every category except off the tee, basically every week.
Which, he's gaining tons of strokes off the tee.
Wow, his putting's like, or no, it's around the green that's really bad. And approach is not great, but
The approach isn't bad though,
no, he's missed a lot of cuts this year. He might lose his tour card.
but he has the eighth at the Zozo, the eighth at the Mexico. He's gonna win the Rocket Mortgage this week. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah, right. It'll be fine. That is like alarming just looking at this. Yeah, I really don't know
What do
who
you
to
think
target.
of
Akshay makes some noise in these like off weeks. Uh,
Akshay? He does.
and like going back to the like coming out party, Akshay fits into that. Sam Bennett fits into that. He's playing this week.
I don't know if I trust Sam Bennett quite yet. I know he. I mean, I bet if you bring up his data golf, he like plays pretty dang well in these. I mean, he missed the cut at the Travelers, but good. He's really good off the tee. Pretty good approach.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Who do we even have in the tournament pools this week?
Well, I
Like who do we have left?
we have Hideki,
Okay.
who is. I mean, like he's kind of a sure thing to just like do something.
Mm-hmm.
You have Keegan, who, hear me out. Yeah, he's. I mean, we know for sure he's using the Jailbird. And secondly, I think Tony Finau last year won back-to-back tournaments, with this one being the second. So I don't think it's the most mentally taxing golf course after a win.
Yeah,
Do you also? I also
agree.
think that that's not that chalky because people will be like, "Ah, no, he won last week."
Right. I mean, maybe I had a weird hunch about Sepp Straka. No stats, just was dreaming, and Sepp Straka was lifting the Rocket Mortgage Trophy for some reason.
Plays well here, but like, or no, sorry, he's playing really well. He actually doesn't play very well here.
Yeah, I feel like Sepp Straka is not a like he just like plays well at random events. Like
Yeah,
every other year, he's just playing well in an event. And then there's the Honda Classic, which he always plays well at for some reason. But
yeah.
yeah, he's kind of been on and off.
We don't have very sexy options.
We do not. And of course, we have Colin Morikawa as well. We haven't used
Well,
him yet. We probably should
but
save him for something, but
yeah, this is not the
not his
spot.
course. No, I don't. I agree. But yeah, we have not
He's
the best
quite
options.
good off the tee.
And I really do like Tom Kim this week. I don't know why. I just think Tom Kim could win here.
I mean,
We've
didn't
used him
he
already.
play well here last year?
Did he?
Pretty sure he finished in the top 10, like T9 or something.
That was when Tom Kim was on his run at the end of the
Seven.
season. Okay. Feels like a type of event he could win. You know, he's won the Shriners and the Wyndham. But yeah, we can't pick him, so that's that. But yeah, not the best options. I'm wondering if we even like go off the board this week.
As in, we do or don't?
We do go off the board. Like find somebody.
Okay.
Because this is a
I
good
like it.
spot to do it.
I think we can get fun with. I think the people want to hear us go off the board here. I
I
think
mean,
if you're listening at home, you're like, don't pick Keegan, don't pick Colin. Like get real gritty with it. Like, what's David Lingmerth up to this week? Is he eating good in the Motor City?
I mean, what about
Unless
your
Stefan
guy?
Yates,
What about your guy
Aaron Rye.
Kevin Yu?
No. Actually, that's a funny story for the pod because we weren't even recording. We were talking about after. We're like, who would be like a random first round like leader? Like who's gonna like lead this event? Speaking of Aaron Rye, and I was like, I mean, Kevin Yu hasn't played since Pebble, and that's a pretty positional course. It finished T7 that, so and then he was like 600.
Why is Kevin Yu third in strokes gain off the tee?
I know it's crazy. I think that's just I'm
Lack of rounds, probably.
not drinking the Kool-Aid there. I think two interesting names, and this one's off the board, but it's not even so. On this office pool, it's a little off the board, but I don't think it's really that off the board pick. Stefan Jaeger's a bomber that was fifth here last year, I want to say, and plays well at I'm pretty sure. Let me look real quick. I want to say he plays well at courses where you do that. Mexico Open 18th. And Farmers Insurance 53rd, but Houston Open 9th. I don't know.
Yeah, a little off the board, but not terrible. This website's being bad for me right now. What about like Ben On?
I see Stefan Jaeger winning an event before I see Ben On winning an event.
Really?
Yeah, Ben On is like he's all right.
Click on his. Got cut last week, but T24, T21, T14. Dang, he's gained strokes off the tee in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row.
I mean, let me take a look. See here.
I mean, his putting hasn't been fantastic.
His putting's not good, and you gotta. Yeah. I mean, like at these courses, you have to putt. You have to make birdies. So, I think he's more like served for like a little bit harder of a course where you can get around with your driver and ball striking.
Yeah, I'm looking for some outliers here. Strokes gain off the tee.
I mean,
dang, Austin Eckroat like has all the stats this week, which is
he really does. I mean,
everybody
wouldn't be the
else
worst.
Might be on.
Yeah,
that.
You think everyone else would pick him?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it wouldn't be the worst pick, but it's.
I agree. And Cameron Davis wouldn't be a bit bad. Or Cam Davis, I don't know. It says Cam here. Who calls him that? Cam Davis would be
Cam of the year.
Not bad. Cam, he would have a good case for Cam of the year if we picked him and he got it done.
I kind of wish Speaking of Cams, kind of wish Cameron Young was playing this week just to like get a good tournament down. You know, he hasn't been playing well recently, and This kind of is a
Yeah,
place
we're
that he
probably
would
not
like
gonna end
fit
up
well
picking
at.
that this year.
Yeah. I kind of wish he was playing this week just to get one on the board. I think he'd play well here.
Mhm. So the way I
Um,
see it,
yeah.
our options are Eckroat, Davis. I guess you could throw Ben on in there,
Ben on
and Jaeger.
fifth in driving distance. Dang, Wyndham, Clark, and Ben on like use the driver the most out of anyone on tour.
Hmm.
They just rip drives.
I mean, are you saying? I mean, after last week, I know you were a little salty about not picking or about picking Max. So I'll give you
Yeah,
a
I
trump.
wasn't on the Max train last week at all. So I mean I don't know who I would have picked, but
Well, I want. I mean, it's not like I wanted to pick Minwoo, so it's not like
yeah.
it's completely on us. But I'll give you a trump card if you want to go Ben on here.
I'm okay with going away from him. I'm not married to Ben on.
Okay. Well, this is a
Yeah, I
very
know
good
that
podcast.
makes it very hard. I know we're just not really picking anyone right now.
So make a decision because I've
Wait,
laid out your options.
so who do you want? Just put it out there.
I like Jaeger bomb, but would be okay with Eckroat because that's just a chalk thing.
I mean, do we just go chalk, get one on the board? Are we picking Eckroat anywhere else? Maybe next week.
No, I mean you did say John Deere pretty good Eckroat week.
But we could also find somebody else next week if we have to.
True. You make the decision, big man.
Let's go with Eckroat. Let's chalk it up. Why not?
Cool.
I just we're throwing out too many names. Eckroat keeps coming up. Feel like he's gonna play well here. The stats align. Let's not overthink it. Let's just pick him.
All right, I'm in. Now, who's your pick to win the tournament? Just like overall, like gun to your head, who's winning?
I'm on the Tom Kim train this week. I think Tom Kim's gonna get it done.
Okay, I like Sung Jae.
I
I
also do
like
like Sanjay. That I was
I like
between the
that
two of them.
storyline. I think he finished second here 1 year too. So, I think, yeah, I think that storyline of a big guy who's kind of due might prevail this week, which we just don't have Sung Jae in the London done.
Yeah, it's a shame. I thought we had like plenty of guys left, but we're running out quickly. I mean, I
No,
guess
we have a
this is not a full field, so yeah, it looks bad
we
this
have
week, but we have
no,
plenty.
we have too many. We have too
Okay.
many. So, all right, let's get inside the clubhouse to end the week. We talking some games? How our games are doing, or
Doing all right. So I played on
oh,
Saturday.
okay.
Played at Patriot Hills Saturday, which is such a sick golf course. If you live in the New York metro area, it's a good course to play. It's got a lot of views and stuff, and interesting tee
Mm,
shots. Interesting storyline behind the course. I think we talked about this when we played it last year. But yeah, I played like okay. I didn't play as well as I had been playing. I think I shot an 86, which is not bad, but I just didn't hit the ball as well as I was been hitting the ball. So that's a little
you
disappointing.
putted good.
I yeah, I chipped and putted really well. I don't think I hit a lot of greens. I think I just was chipping close and putting mostly.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
But yeah, I didn't hit the ball. Like I didn't really have the driver much most of the round, which sucks. But
Mm.
love hate
Played
relationship.
played Sunday at Silvermine, and like I was saying, the greens were just crazy slow. I probably could have gone a good 6 strokes lower on putts that literally were just like either like just hit the right side of the cup, like, and probably just didn't have enough pace, or just came up like dead center, but just a rotation short. Um, and it was like putting on fairways. But the funny story of the week is I thought I thought I shot a 47 on the front. I was like, wow, I thought I played better than that, but whatever. Patty Maths screwed up the score. I think I shoot a 91 coming off the 18th green. I'm like, that sucks. Um, and then on the ride home, I'm counting it up and putting it into the USGA Gin app. I got it at 45 on the front. I was like, okay, maybe I didn't play it as bad as I thought. So I shot an 89, which was quite the way to find out. You shoot you I mean, like, obviously the goal is always break 90. That's all remind you want to score lower, but it's nice when you're just like, oh wow, that's a surprise. I shot 89. I
Yeah.
shot under 90.
I'm looking to play Silvermine again soon. I've been going out playing a lot of different courses. I played Silvermine once in the last couple weeks. I think I shot like an 83, which is pretty good. I'm looking to play Silvermine again. Have not putted well at Silvermine basically ever. So if I could putt well at Silvermine, we're in for one. Maybe they cut the greens this week.
I would imagine they did on Monday. They were wildly slow, like the slowest I've ever seen them.
Interesting. Yeah, it just is what it is sometimes, I guess, at that golf course. But yeah, it's always fun going out there playing. I feel like. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we got so on the first tee at Patriot Hills. This is like a fun story. It was other Trevor who has featured on the YouTube channel before, Max and me playing, and I guess there was a group on the first tee, and they're like, "Oh, you guys want to like go ahead? You guys are 3, we're 4. Like you guys should go ahead." It's like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll go ahead. And I don't know if you remember the first hole of Patriot Hills. It's like that really downhill, scenic hole, and I got up with the 2-iron and just like ripped like the best 2-iron of my life. And the guy behind us is like, "Oh yeah, you guys are definitely going ahead of us." So that was a good feeling. Oh yeah, always a good feeling. I'm not a great first tee golfer, so that was good to do.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a pretty good first tee golfer / like pressure golfer, but when it's more loose is when I don't play as well.
I'm the opposite. I feel like, kind of.
Like
I'm
you get
not good on the first
a
tee.
drop of alcohol in me, literally a drop, and like I double the next hole.
Like I am notorious for hitting terrible tee shots on the first tee. Now, like, listen, we don't warm up the most of the times we play, and it's tough. But like, I can't go out there and just rip a driver on the first tee. It just doesn't work for me. That's why I like almost never pull a driver on the first tee.
Fair enough. What'd you end up making on one?
Par.
Nice.
Absolutely ripped the 2-iron and then got up on the approach shot and 2-putted. But yeah, no, it's a. I think it's better than I shot last time. Yeah, that's a fun course if you live in the New York metro area. It's just like kind of out there in the mountains,
Not
as you would
too
say.
expensive.
Yeah, it's a little expensive, but there was like not a lot of people
the fall
there.
wasn't.
Yeah, there was not a lot of people there, and
go ahead.
oh no, there's just not a lot of people there. I think it's just because of the rain scared a lot of people off, and they just kind of like we had a 3:10 tee time. And they're like got there at like 2:00, and they're like, you guys could go whenever you want. So that was good.
Yeah, I feel like that course. I mean, anytime you like during the summer peak like Saturday hours, like if you get it for under 100, which you guys did, right? It's like not the end of the world, but in the fall, I want to say it was like $50. So
oh yeah, definitely. That's a course that you cannot walk either. There's like long drives between tee boxes, and it's all up and downhill. Yeah. And there's a stretch of holes on the back. I think it's 12 to 15 or something, or 11 to 15, 11 to 14 that are just tough, out of bounds like everywhere. So
if there is a course with the second name being Hills and it's not like Aaron or Shinnecock, then you should probably walk.
Yeah.
Or drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that, but a nice course. And Centennial that we played last week was also really nice. That was really expensive though, just surge pricing. But
yeah, that was ridiculous. That really sucked.
The course was in fantastic shape.
Course was great. But yeah, so Rocket Mortgage this week, John Deere next week. Kind of a lull in the PGA Tour schedule. Let's see what happens this week. Let's see what storylines play out. Any more Jailbird putters out there?